Hey dreamers, I'm Bryce from Midnight Notion, singer, songwriter, musician, big fan of Metallica, but I have no idea what my favorite Metallica song is. Could it be The House That Jack Built? Let's use math to find out. Cue the intro.
So Ted, give it to me now!
For the best Metallica song! The House That Jack Built. We're on the third song out of so many songs. I can't believe I have to have this stupid background behind me for, 12 more songs, 11 more songs, and also it's going to only barely change for the next 13. I know that some of you have been dreading this record. Some of you have been looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it because I'm discovering new things. I've always loved this band, but I think it's okay to use my knowledge of music and songwriting to take a little bit more of an analytical look at their songs. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to listen to the song. I'm going to blah, blah, blah my way through it, and then I'm going to grade it using the following categories: lyrics, instrumentation, composition, memorability, and emotional response. Each category is a 0 to 4 scale, with 20 being the highest total possible points. Only one song has ever gotten there, so it just happens to be one. So we'll find out if this song has what it takes to get 18 or more. That's what it needs to get to the top 10. We'll find out at the end of the episode. But first, we gotta listen to The House That Jack Built. I know you either love it or you hate it. I don't know where you stand. Maybe you can be in the middle on it. I don't know. But a lot of people hate this record. I think it gets a lot of unfair hate. It's that like broken nostalgia thing. It's that like, oh, I loved the band and then they sold out kind of thing. And it's like, whoa, hold on. They're growing, they're changing, they're adapting to their interests, and they're trying something new. Let's give them a try while we're here, shall we? Okay, yeah, I do like this intro. It's like ominous, mysterious. There's something about like he's just starting on the crash cymbal. You don't hear that in songs very often. It's not the guitar just do 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 do, just holding it out, and then just a. The only other thing that's kind of coming to my mind right now that sounds kind of like that is maybe. Hell's Bells by AC/DC. There's like a cymbal hit, but I think that's more of a ride cymbal. This is a and now he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, but he's doing the kick on the twos here, and we're slowly building it. I like this. I appreciate this. It's different. It's new. There's a breath there. Did you hear him? Open door.
Walk inside. Close my eyes, find my place to hide. And I shake as I take it in. Let the show begin.
I think that this has a really interesting intro. This man can sing. This guy is a sanger. He's really letting it out. I love the way his voice sounds on this record. And this intro had such an I don't know, intriguing, like, ooh, something's different here. And I feel like this change here, that slow build, had a real opportunity to go somewhere explosive or somewhere really, really interesting. And I feel like by coming down to a guitar-only riff with the hi-hats on the offbeats, kind of ruined that a little bit. Now we have a new riff. It's just as slow as the first one, but it's like we're starting the song over, right? This could have been its own song. And I know we've talked a little bit on this channel about the way that they Frankenstein their songs. They have a few riffs and they record just the riffs, and then they go through the riffs later and they go, okay, let's put 127 with 384, and they kind of mash them, and that's how a lot of their songs get written. I don't know if that was the case in this era or not, but I do know that that is a thing that they've been doing for a long time. And to me, this feels like a Frankensteining. I feel like that transition didn't earn itself. The riffs separately are both fine, but they both sit in that kind of middle to slow range. And that growth, that climb, usually when you come out of that, you go into like a straight, and I think that this stop was, it's the wrong place for it. I feel like this goes in the bridge before the final chorus, right? Whereas we just had a stop, right? We had just guitar and cymbals on the offbeat, and then we built it up, and now we're back to guitar with cymbals on the offbeat, and that bums me out a little bit. And I think this is probably the moment. If you were the type of fan that was kind of mad at them for cutting their hair and stuff, you got through Ain't My Bitch. You thought it was a pretty good song. You got through 2x4, and it was maybe kind of fallen. Maybe it's a dud on the record. Once you get to this point, I think that's when you start going, okay, something's up here. And you might have lost. This might have been where some of the fans were like, I'm out. Which is unfortunate because the rest of the record has a lot of gold in it. But that transition here for the third song, after having kind of a meh second song, really unfortunate as a record. But there are plenty of great songs to go. I just wanted to point that out. I love that the second guitar, right? I can hear James doing the riff, do 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 do, but I can hear Kirk on the right speaker going, burn up, bump, bump. He's doing those offbeat, kind of giving it that nice little rhythm to it, giving those offbeats gives a really cool syncopation and something different as a contradiction to James's riffy bit there. And we have that straight groove, but it just doesn't. It's sitting that middle tempo there, and so it just needs a little bit more. I want it to have more energy or less energy. It's sitting in that weird spot where it's not quite enough. But it's not enough, you know, like it's not slow enough. It's not fast enough. It's kind of just, it's dirging, and it feels like we're kind of, I don't know, maybe that's intentional. Maybe they're trying to illustrate trudging through the mud, right? The down day, like Jack has had a real bad day, and so he's just kind of trudging along. Maybe that, or maybe it's like the sneakiness of like you open the door, so you walk inside, you're looking around, finding a place to hide, right? Maybe it's trying to illustrate that. But just as a song, if I'm looking for a favorite song, just that transition broke me a little bit. Now I feel like I'm listening to a different song, and that's unfortunate. I guess the groove is fine. It's good. Ooh, there was like a shing. There was a little tambourine shake there. These verses.
Open my eyes to have them close again.
I want you to listen. Oh, I heard the tambourine again. I want you to listen to James's vocals because he's doing some really, really exceptional stuff. He's layering it multiple levels thick. He's got his "open my eyes" his regular vocal, but then he's got like a high one. And then he's got a low, like, but then there's also a vocoder in the back. I can hear like an effect on it. There's a lot of layers. Just really listen in. You can hear just a stack of vocals, and it's pretty cool. On top of that, typically when a major recording artist is in the studio, they're not just recording one vocal, right? This is the verse, and it sounds like there's only one person singing. But the fact is that most artists, at least in this genre, double their vocals, sometimes triple them. So they'll sing it multiple times, and they'll use those layers, right? They'll kind of mix them together to sound like one, but it's actually making the vocals thicker in the mix, and it actually comes through. It's weird because if you do it wrong, it sounds like two voices, but if you do it right, it sounds like a very large single voice. If you listen to my record, Somewhere in Dreamworld, there are songs in here. The song Heartache Collector has like 37 different vocal parts in it. 37! I don't know if that's the exact number. It might be 32. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But it's so many vocals because I have the lead, but then it's tripled, and then the harmony might be doubled, and then the second harmony might be doubled. And by the end of the song, there are so many stacks and layers that it was actually that many vocal tracks. So the fact that he's got a doubled or tripled vocal, and then on top of that, he's got harmonies in so many different layers, I think that's a really cool production trick. And I think that it really is, I think it is illustrating the song. There's like this grittiness to the low, and there's like this confusion in the high, and there's the mid. I don't know. It's really cool. Listen to the voice. Listen to the voice, not the show. There's a lot of yeah. You can hear the drawn out. Sometimes he finishes the word where I've been and he's done been, but there's one voice in the back going been, and then there's like an echo on it. It delays for a while and it drags out. Really cool artistry going on. If the lyrics were just if the note choice of his vocals in these verses were better, this song would stand out. Unfortunately, it just kind of feels like, oh, man, and that's my impression of it. I'm sticking to it. It doesn't have that sonic quality, right? It doesn't have that memorable hook to it. It's not singable. It doesn't feel like a song that you would just, from the heart, just belt it out, right? It feels like a song that you would like scream if you were like in trouble, right? This feels like someone who is in a problem state. Maybe I don't know for sure if these lyrics are talking about a drug addiction or a homeless person. I know that there's some homeless themes in this record. I know that there's some addiction themes in here as well. I don't know which one it's trying to capture, but this person is definitely not in a place they're supposed to be, or maybe that they would usually be in if things were going better for them. And so maybe the choice to make these vocals like kind of weird is intentional, but as a listener, it's kind of off-putting. So artistically cool, probably yes. Is it a song I'm going to put on repeat and sing it to my friends? Probably no.
It swallows me as it takes me in its fold. I twist away as I kill this world.
What is that reminding me of? Womp, 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 is that Soundgarden? Or no, it's Alice in Chains, right? Womp, 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 and the box, man in the box, right? That's Alice in Chains, right? One of those bands. I like that harmony.
Close my eyes, find my place to hide, and I shake as I take it in. Let the show begin. Open my eyes.
Yeah, that vocoder, wow, wow, sounds like a very Tom Morello type of playing. Very grunge, very grunge. You can feel the grunge influence pretty much on this whole record. Man, we're only so far into it. I better stop talking because I kind of want to get it over with. But I like these little shink, the little tambourine shink. I like the vocal performance. As much as I hate the note choice, I do like what he's doing with his vocals. It is interesting.
Dissolve the clothes once again. Don't want control. Hey, it takes me down and down and down again. This afternoon, what this light that lights this dead.
Wow, wow, wow. wow, 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 wow. It's so Alice in Chains, isn't it? It sounds so much like something they would play. Them thieves. I don't know. You'll have to look at the dates. Who did it? Who wore it better? Who wore it first? Yeah.
Just another demon that I meet. The higher you are, the farther you fall. The longer the walk, the farther you
I don't know. Yeah, there's some threes in there in the chorus. I have to say that I love the parallelism that's going on. The higher you are, the farther you fall. The longer the walk, the further the crawl. I love that they're doing that kind of, they're showing the difference between the two. I love that symbol. It's parallelism, I believe. But I hate this temple it tilts. I don't know why, but that line gets at me every time. It feels like they needed a rhyme for the house that Jack built, and they're just like, I don't know, tilt works. We'll just throw it in. That line just feels so sloppy. My body, my temple. Good line. This temple, it tilts. Come on. You could do better than that. We've heard the rest of your... This is the 50th song we've done? 50 songs later, that's the best you could do? This temple, it tilts. I despise that line. I don't know if you're in the same boat as me on that one, but I think it's kind of dumb. Is that a James solo? It's left speaker, so that's got to be a James solo. Vocoder. Interesting. This is actually my favorite part of the song, this like section. I don't know if you would call this the chorus or if you would call this another verse, but I do really like the way the guitars and the vocals play together. I am questioning Lars's choice here because every other time we've been at this place, it's been riding on the crash, boom, boom, with the kick drum on the 2 and 4, and now he's got the kick drum on the 1 and the snare on the 3, and he's doing a 16th note thing on the hi-hats. And I don't know, I question that change because I liked it better when it was real simple. And so I guess you could argue that this is building the song, but I almost miss it the other way because the thing is, the pattern has been established the same way each time. In the intro and the other couple times we've heard this riff, it's always been the cymbal. It's never built. It's never changed. So because if they changed it in the second time through, if the second time was different, then this change wouldn't bother me so much. But because we've heard that part multiple times and we get to it and there's a change, that kind of makes me go, I don't know, was it worth the change? Did it improve upon it? Right now, I'm feeling no.
And
like that stop. We didn't need to come back to this. Good vocals. Appreciate the slowdown. Is there a hit? Yeah. Oh, wow. The delay. I got to go back to that because I do appreciate the delay and ba, boom, boom, ba. That's where you would assume it would go, but they just hold that. So they're just waiting. They're waiting. They're like, you're like pushing a thing over and drop. It's like a roller coaster. That's pretty cool. Yeah. You hear the vocals. Oh, little splash cymbal there at the end. Interesting. All right. Well, yeah, you could probably guess this one's not going to get rated very high, but let's give it some points anyway, shall we? Lyrics. What is this song about? It is just like the old, what is it, a British folk story or children's story, The House That Jack Built. It's not actually about the house or Jack. If you don't know the tale, the house that this is the house that Jack built. It's this cumulative type story where it starts out with this is the house that Jack built, and then this is the cheese inside of the house that Jack built, and then this is the rat that ate the cheese inside of the house, and it keeps going and keeps going. And eventually, here's the rat that ate, or here's the cat that ate the rat that ate the cheese, and this is blah blah blah. It keeps building and building and building, and so I think that this kind of takes the Metallica twist on that old fable and kind of turns it into a story about this character. There's an open door, they walk inside, and this is like the cumulative story. This is what his life has led to, is this moment. I am really intrigued. The more I read these lyrics, the more I wonder what they're trying to depict. That open door, so I walk inside, feels very reminiscent. You could say like there's like maybe a burglary, like they're checking inside. But what I'm envisioning when I think of this lyric is actually like an old, crumpled down, abandoned building, right? Just something that's kind of decrepit out in the middle of nowhere. And it's either a homeless person or an addict of some sort that is kind of testing, like slowly, is there anybody here? And that this is like one place of safety from the storm outside. And we see this theme coming back later on in the record. Outlaw Torn, Bleeding Me, a lot of like the problems of the world and needing a place to hide. What was the other song I was thinking of? Low Man's Lyric, that's the one. Anyway, there's this sort of theme of hiding out, being on the run, but then there's also this thought like open my eyes just to have them closed again. I don't know if this person is doing drugs, if they're dying, maybe they're breathing their last breaths. There's also this one little line about, is that a moon or a light at the end of the dead end street? And so there's a part of me deep down inside that wants it to be a werewolf. Like this person goes, okay, maybe this house will be safe. We'll board it up from the inside, and then I can transform. It swallows me. It like takes over, right? They turn into a werewolf, and they become a wolf and man. Maybe there's like a Metallica song-matic universe, right? All the songs are connected somehow. This fits in right before of Wolf and Man, maybe? I don't know. You put your conspiracies in the comments below. But regardless, I do like what they're trying to do with this song. I can see what they're going for. I really appreciate the parallelism. Like I said before, the higher you are, the farther you fall. That's what leads me to believe it's a drug addict, because they're high, literally, metaphorically. They're experiencing a high. I love that, but this castle it tilts feels goofy to me. It feels wrong. And then when you look at the verses, there's a lot of like, I don't know for sure if this is something James experienced firsthand or if he's trying to be creative, right? If he's trying to put himself in someone else's shoes. But to me, these lyrics sound written. They don't sound experienced. They sound like someone who did surface level research on what addiction does. Now, okay, I got to go back on that because I know that James has struggled with addiction, mostly with alcohol, but it sounds to me, when I read these lyrics, it sounds to me like surface level knowledge of a deeper issue. Oh, it takes over and I lose control, right? That's what pretty much everybody knows. We all can understand that that's a thing that happens when you're taken by some form of drug or alcohol or otherwise addicting situation. We can all agree on those things. But what are the real specific things? Like, what do your eyes dilate? Do your veins pump a different way? I don't know. I haven't experienced this stuff either. I have only done surface level research as well. So if I was to write something about addiction, I would probably write something like that as well. But I think I want to give James credit because I know that he's been through some hard times in his life. He's probably experienced some of these things. They may be coming from the heart. I don't know. I don't know the full story behind this, but all I know is that the way the words are written feel sort of beginner to me, except for that parallelism. That's my favorite part, but the rest of the lyrics just don't do it for me. I'm blabbing on a lot. I have a lot to say on this, but really all I can say is they're not for me. It's a good try, but it's not for me. Lyrically, it's a 1. Instrumentation. I don't know. They did fine. Nothing really speaks to me in this song. It's pretty skippable overall. If I take out the words, I think it's got a nice groove. It's cool to hear some vocoder. We never really got that in any of their songs before, so it's new, it's unique. But is it enough to impress me? Not really. So I don't know. I can't really complain. I can't really give them credit. All I can do is give them a safe 2. Composition. This one really failed me, in my opinion. It doesn't have that. I wanted that build to go somewhere else. I really feel like that intro riff, the open door walk inside, every time they play that, that's the highlight of the song for me. And it always feels like it's going to build into something amazing. And then it just kind of falls into this. And then the verse riff has kind of a cool bump, bump. It's got that Alice in Chains to it, but it just doesn't move in a way that I want my Metallica songs to move, right? If I'm going to pick a favorite song, I got to say, compositionally, this one isn't it. It's a big fat 0. Memorability. I have to say the only saving grace for this song is that one section. Open door so I walk inside. I think there's a lot of really cool vocal stuff going on there, and I don't know anything past that. Open door so I walk inside. Something, place to hide. Something, open my eyes. I don't know. And, the chorus is, when we get into that 6/4 bit, there's, I guess, some semi-memorable stuff. If you're familiar with the house that Jack built, you can tell that's the hook of the song. I guess that's kind of memorable, but I just don't think they did what they need to do to make this super memorable. They didn't hit us with a 2x4 over the head with something very memorable. So unfortunately, this one, memorability, it's a 1. Emotional response. You can probably tell by my posture. I'm kind of plumped over. I'm feeling a little defeated. I do promise that I do love this band. I do love their music and I do appreciate who they are. If I saw them in this era, I would have been really happy with the live production. I know that they're doing some great things, but this song just doesn't have it for me. I hear that intro, I get excited, and then the rest of the song just kind of loses me. So unfortunately, emotional response, this also is a big ol' 0. And with that, the house that Jack built gets a grand total of 4 points. It's not even close to top 10. As a matter of fact, it is bottom 3. 48 out of 50 total so far. That's a pretty low rank. And to those of, if there's anybody out there who really loves this song, I want you to tell me why, because I don't think I understand it. I'm trying to keep an open mind. I recognize I have some bias against it coming in, but I am really listening for something golden, and it just isn't here. So if you're one of the fans of this song, let me know. I would love to hear it live. I think it'd be new and fresh, because I don't know if they ever played this live? I think this is one of the few that they've never even touched. So I think I would be refreshed to get a live version, but also it just isn't great. So that's where we are. Let's take a look at the top 10. 1 is still at the top. Through the Never is on the chopping block. And this bar is very high. It's going to need an 18 to get on this list. And I will say that now we've passed 50 episodes. Thank you so much for being on here. We've surpassed 300 subscribers. So I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here. We've got more than 50 more songs to go. So please hang around. I would love for you to put in the comments below what rank you would give the song based on my criteria. Please check out my music. Midnight Notion is available on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get it online. I'd love to know what you think of my songs, if my songs are any better than the house that Jack built. And of course, smash that subscribe button. Things are getting better tomorrow because we're going through Until It Sleeps. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.